Welcome to the art of becoming a witch. How to awaken, remember, and trust the memory of reverence and devotion. This is our sixth original witch art gift. In our sixth, think about this, 3 years, our sixth Mystica University 77-day intensives as we walk the sixth circuit of her original, beautiful, divine feminine womb labyrinth. These are all 7 of our witch art gifts: full body intuition, threshold crossing, original prayer, real prayer, Miraphor anointing. Thank you, priestess of the Miraphors, Mary Magdalene. Divination, devotion, and very soon the great mystery of dragon will reveal herself. Today, and we gather for our 5th immersion, and this time it is into Mother Ocean. But we begin, as we always begin, with our remembering ceremony and this beautiful, beautiful prayer. This moment. That first tinkle before I know it's rain. That first breath before I know I'm awake. That first sip before I know what I am tasting. That first sniff before I know I am on fire. That first chord of silent music, I'm not sure I hear it. I can't quite catch the tune, but my heart knows it. My heart knows it by heart. That spinning moment when the clear road fades and then disappears. But my feet keep walking, I know not where. That dropping moment when the floor between worlds cracks open, I stumble, I trip, I plummet, I land, and everything has changed. That moment when I know you are here. That moment when I realize you never left. One moment, our moment, and it is this moment. I am beginning to remember what I never forgot. Let us bring in all of ourselves from the once was and the not yet to help us remember what we never forgot. Call your own name, I, whalebone. Call my intuitive, mystic, prayer artist, Miraphor, oracle, and priestess shaman selves from the once was, and just pause as they enter, and the not yet, to come to me in this moment and help me remember what I never forgot. Let us open her libraries. Haley will open her library of fire, white cardinal air, Iola, our beloved Freddie, the library of earth, and Meritaten, water. Haley?
First in my prayer, I call on fire. Hello, fire, beautiful fire, fire of light, of warmth, of alchemy, of Our Lady, Phoenix rising herself. Thank you for light, warmth, alchemy. Her library of fire is now open.
We don't have our beautiful Jennifer's chimes, so we have to be the chimes. So everyone is muted. Let us say, as we complete every one of these, her library of fire is now open.
Second in my prayer, I call on air. Hello, air, beautiful air, air of breath, of wind, of spirit, of Our Lady, Mother Creation herself. Thank you for breath, wind, and spirit. Her library of air is now open.
And we are like the chorus, the Greek chorus. We all say, her library of air is now open.
Third in my prayer, I call on earth. Hello, earth, beautiful earth, earth of substance, of growth, of tomb, of Our Lady, Mother Gaia herself. Thank you for substance, growth, death, and return. Her library of earth is now open.
And our beautiful group echoes, her library of earth is now open. And our final library.
Fourth in my prayer, I call on water. Hello, water, beautiful water, water of life, of movement, of transformation, of Our Lady, primordial love herself. Thank you for life, movement, transformation. Her library of water is now open.
And we affirm her library of water is now open. So take a moment to see and hear and feel the living presence of all four libraries. They are open, they are alive, and they are in communication with us. The elements have heard our request, and they have answered. They have opened to help us remember what we never forgot. Every time we complete the libraries, we take a moment to remember Draconis speaking for the very first time. And he said, the libraries of fire, air, earth, and water live in you. You are granted permission to learn from them. We are granted permission to learn from them. That feels holy. Just imagine how different our world would be, how different we would be if we had been taught this as children at our mother's knees. What if she had had us hold some earth, drink some water, feel the air on our skin? What if she had said, darling, the libraries of the four sacred elements, the foundation of all life, are open. Listen and learn from them. We would not be living in a wasteland. Emma will help us activate the Remember oil and anoint our beautiful bodies. Emma, how do we begin?
Yeah, well, if you've got your chosen oil, I'm going to spritz the space between us first, and then I'll bring the oil in a little later. Taking in that vibrational medicine of our plant allies. So let's activate these sacred oils together. I call upon the powers and spirits of Myrtle, the gatekeeper of the sacred threshold, to help me release blockages from other worlds and other times.
I call upon the powers and spirits of myrtle oil to bring clarity and vibrance to my mind, my body, and my life. I call upon the powers and spirits of opoponics, sweet myrrh, to transmute and transform everything longing to be realigned on the path to the sacred. I call upon the powers and spirits of iris to anchor the divine feminine in me, my body, my mystic family, and all my ancestral lineages. I call upon the powers and spirits of tea to clear away indecision, stagnation, and worry about the past and the future, that I may dwell in beauty, wonder, and peace in this moment. I call upon the powers and spirits of calendula, Mary's gold, to anchor me in the love, wisdom, strength, and beauty of the Magdalene. And I call upon the powers and spirits of grapeseed to hydrate, regenerate, and restructure all that is parched in me, that I may blossom into the fullness and beauty of the whole and holy witch I came here to be. Let's take a moment. So I'm going to now apply a little of the Remember oil to my fingertips and activating that. I also like to just move that through the palm of my hands. And I'm bringing in my water sigil now. I'm visualizing that being activated in the palms of my hands and my fingers as we do the anointing spell together. Our Lady, Queen of Magicians, anoint me, all of me, that I may become the playful magician you made me to be, and sing the song I came here to sing. Open my eyes, my raven eyes, that I may see who wants to be seen, but I am not seeing, I am being seen. Open my ears, my raven ears, that I may hear who wants to be heard, but I am not hearing, I am being heard. Open my mind, my raven mind, that I may know what wants to be known, but I am not knowing, I am being known. Open my dreams, my raven dreams, that I may dream what wants to be remembered, what wants to be dreamed, but I am not dreaming, I am being dreamt. That's maybe a Freudian slip there. Open my prayers, my raven prayers, that I may pray what wants to be prayed, but I am not praying, I am being prayed. Open my heart, my sacred heart, that I may love what wants to be loved. Oh, but I am not loving, I am being loved. Open my womb, my sacred womb, that I may birth what wants to be birthed. Oh, but I am not birthing, I am being birthed. Open my voice, my sacred voice, that I may speak what wants to be spoken. Oh, but I am not speaking, I am being spoken. Open my hands, my sacred hands, that I may write what wants to be written. Oh, but I am not writing, I am being written. Holy Mother, Queen of the living and the dead, pray me, dream me, sing me, anoint me into the fullness of the magician you know me to be, and guide me into the holy use of these most precious witch art gifts.
That was such a perfect slip that I'm going to change the slide. Because isn't that the truth that what's happening in our dreams is we are being shown what needs to be remembered? So thank you. Tony, would you please help us blow on the embers of these magnificent elements? You're muted. We know what to do, but we still want to hear your voice.
I thought I had it muted. So in your left hand, imagine the embers of fire and air, however they appear for you. And in your right hand, we have the embers of earth and water. And let's just give a little blow on them to activate them. And let's place the embers on our body wherever it feels comfortable for you, on your heart, your womb, your head, wherever you'd like. I am beginning to remember what I never forgot. We are beginning to remember what we never forgot.
And we complete all 7 elements in our remembering ceremony by taking the wisdom, the beauty, the insights, the mysteries into our bodies. Altari will lead us in drinking holy, very holy water. Altari.
Water is life. Water is alive. Water is conscious. Water holds and remembers all that has been spoken, prayed, seen, heard, and felt by one and all in the theater of the miraculous.
Mhm. Thank you so much.
Mm.
And now we have our beautiful invocations. The voices of Lucy and Michael are here. We get a new treat. Marina of the Sea, who's in Austria right now, is going to welcome Jeanne d'Arc in her, I think Marina speaks 5 languages, but her native tongue is Hungarian. Iola will welcome all 7 of our oracles, and then, of course, we're going to bring in our own goddess. Shall we begin, Iola?
Here in the theater of the miraculous, all having been created from the same stardust source energy, we send our voices to you, Archangel Lucy. We ask you, Lucy, be here with us, bless us, and guide us on our journey.
We send our voices to you, Archangel Michael. We ask you, Michael, please bless us on our journey.
Now is the time. We ask that you hold space for our co-creative power.
Thank you for showing us who you really are, because now we remember who we really are.
Thank you for connecting us to all that is. Now we joyfully experience the magical symphony vibrating with energetic life and radiant love.
We thankfully stand in our sovereignty, own our powers, and birth the new world.
Partner with us as we awaken, remember, and trust the memory of reverence and devotion. So it is. Let us begin.
And we begin always by bringing in Jeanne d'Arc, who has been our guide, our leader into awakening and remembering the mystic holy witches that we came here to be, as our anointing prayer says. Jeanne d'Arc has been with us since the very beginning of 2021. She dictated this prayer. I did not write it. And one of our great joys is to hear this prayer that she wrote brought to us in, I think we're up to 7 or 8 languages today. Marina of the Sea will welcome Jeanne in Hungarian. Marina.
Jeanne d'Arc, Jeanne d'Arc, rejtélyek asszonya. Jeanne d'Arc, Jeanne d'Arc, a szívem asszonya. Te hallgattál a hangjaidra, én hallgatok az enyémekre, és te hívsz, engem hívsz, lányom, menj tovább, menj tovább, menj tovább, menj tovább, ne félj. Előtted megyek, az út szabad, a korona a tiéd. Jeanne d'Arc, Jeanne d'Arc, rejtélyek asszonya, Jeanne d'Arc, Jeanne d'Arc, a szívem asszonya. Add meg nekem a bátorságot, add meg nekem a kegyelmet, hogy meglássam, amit meg kell látnom, hogy meghalljam, akit meg kell hallanom, és hogy megtegyem, amit meg kell tennem. Jeanne d'Arc, Jeanne d'Arc, rejtélyek asszonya, Jeanne d'Arc, Jeanne d'Arc, a szívem királynője.
Thank you. It's so beautiful. In this ocean, in this reverence and devotion, we have heard her in French, English, Polish, Portuguese, and Hungarian. I think she likes it. Don't you feel her? I think she likes it very much. We hope so. And our beloved oracles who arrived in 2023 without our even knowing that they were about to take us on a wild adventure into the original Seven Circuit Labyrinth. Aola is going to call them by name, but everyone is muted. You might like to call them too.
Aurora, Oracle of Intuition. Mystica, Oracle of the Thresholds. Origina, the memory of prayer. Magdala, Oracle of the Sacrament of Remembering. Fortuna, Oracle of Oracles. Eterna, her memory of life. And Lucia, Oracle of the Garden.
I always need to pause and just bask in the beloved fortune that we have to know or be known by and guided by and met on the labyrinth by our beloved seven oracles. And in our final welcome, we call in our personal goddess. They're not all here, but just look. And everyone is muted, so call on any and all the goddesses you wish to support you, be with you as we dive into reverence and devotion. In our final welcome, we obey the commands of the goddess. And Kathy Dandelion will lead us in this astonishing prayer. But first, in the silence, we need to listen. Listen. Isis is ringing her sistrum.
Behold, Lucius, here I am, moved by your prayer, I, mother of all nature and mistress of the elements, firstborn of the ages and greatest of powers divine, queen of the dead and queen of the immortals, all gods and goddesses in a single form, who with a gesture commands heaven's glittering summit, the wholesome ocean breezes, the underworld's mournful silence, whose sole divinity is worshipped in differing forms with varying rites under many names by all the world. There, at Pessinus, the Phrygians, firstborn of men, call me Cybele, mother of the gods. In Attica, a people sprung from their own soil name me Cecropian Minerva. In sea-girt Cyprus, I am Paphian Venus, Dictina Diana to the Cretan archers, Stygian Proserpine to the three-tongued Sicilians, Adelucius, ancient Ceres, Juno to some, to others Bellona, Hecate, Rhamnusia, while the races of both Ethiopias, first to be lit at dawn by the risen sun's divine rays, and the Egyptians too, deep in arcane lore, worship me with my own rites and call me by my true name, Royal Isis. I am here in pity for your misfortunes. I am here as friend and helper. Weep no more. End your lamentations. Banish sorrow. With my aid, your day of salvation is at hand. So listen carefully to my commands.
Yes, ma'am. I think she's about to give us some very profound commands about the source of life in Mother Ocean. Let us take a moment to bring all that has just happened, all the prayers that have been said, the elements, the goddesses, the oracles. Drink them into your body, which is mostly water. Here we are in our fifth and final immersion gathering in ART6, Reverence and Devotion, and we are about to be immersed in Mother Ocean. We began this magnificent adventure in Crete, where we lived for over 1,000 years in peace, did we not? And then we experienced the endless beauty of thousands of years of Neolithic goddess cultures around the entire world. We returned to the Paleolithic caves, the home of the true Minotaur, the birthplace of mysticism, shamanism, and our precious womb labyrinth. And then we went even further back in time to the memories of life on Mother Gaia long, long before humans, reveling in Gaia's astonishing creativity, her beauty, her diversity, and awakening to the truth known to all our pre-patriarchal ancestors. The world is a who. Today, we awaken an even older memory of reverence and devotion, not just before humans, not just before animals or even before plants. Today, we return to Mother Ocean, the womb, the origin of all life. What is time to an ocean? Time for an ocean lingers. The waters of the global oceans travel round in seemingly eternal cycles, from equators to the poles, from the deepest ocean to the wave tops, and they do it slowly. The metaphor used is that of a giant conveyor belt, but the quickest parts of that belt, the Gulf Stream, have a maximum surface speed of just 9 kilometers per hour, a fast walking speed. A droplet of water that travels the full length of this wandering conveyor belt will take a full millennium to do so. The current passing today, right now, from Iceland to Greenland and on to Labrador, perhaps even in this moment, contains some of the same water sailed by Leif Erikson and his crew, the first Europeans to cross the Atlantic, returning to those seas for the first time. And so we ask again, what is time to an ocean? When we gathered on September 21st for our fourth immersion into Mother Gaia, we were cracked open that day by the new moon and solar eclipse. But this was not a one-day or even one cycle experience. What is being seeded throughout this new moon eclipse period is feeding us for 6 months. We will not really understand what has been seeded in our cracks until we gather next March, the time of the return of Dragon. Magical seeds are definitely sprouting. Eterna, her memory of life, and her doppelganger, Three-Eye Atlas, have quite a bit of new brain-cracking, life-altering, mind-boggling information that Kathy somehow intuited when she painted Eterna on July 1st. The very same day Three-Eye Atlas came into view on the largest camera ever built at the Vera Rubin Observatory in Chile. Three-Eye Atlas is constantly revealing new mysteries. She began revealing colors from the very first sighting, but now she is turning from red to green. Her chemistry is unlike anything ever known. She is a comet, so she is made of ice, but astronomers now think she's made of ice and dark material. Her nucleus weighs over 33 billion tons, a physical impossibility. She is over 7 billion years old, almost twice as old as Mother Gaia, even a bit older than our sun and our entire solar system. All of this to say that Three-Eye Atlas is different from all other beings in our solar system. Emma teaches us that when a new planet or asteroid is discovered, it changes or cracks open something in human consciousness. We understand this, we feel it. We remember the sacramental witch art memory of reverence and devotion for all life, all the way through the life of humans and animals and plants, all the way to the memory of Mother Ocean being seeded on this planet by asteroids. We know we are being cracked open to receive new information. But what is this information? Well, her arrival into human consciousness on this particular date, July 1st, 2025, may give us some clues. Consider the numerology. 7 July plus 1 is an 8. And 2025 we know is a 9-year. 8 plus 9 is 17. 17 and 17 reduces to an 8. 17 is the star in tarot. Well, that seems perfect, don't you think? Atlas and Eterna are not just from the stars, they are star beings. Perhaps that's why we were blessed to discover the star dial on Crete. And that star dial is completely altering our experience of time, preparing us, I think, to enter Mother Ocean. Notice that in 17, the star in tarot, there is, as far as we can tell, always a woman. Even a mermaid. Look at that third card. Isn't that the sweetest, most beautiful 17 card you've ever seen? All of these women are pouring water from the stars onto Earth. This tarot 17, as we are about to discover, is the perfect mirror of both the science of Three-Eye Atlas and humanity's very deep memory of creation in water. Now, the 8 that the 17 reduces to is a bit more of a mystery. 8 is usually portrayed as strength, often shown as a woman befriending a lion, demonstrating the nature of true strength, not as domination or control, but as relationship, partnership, collaboration. Each one of these cards giving us a feeling for the true nature of strength. But in the Thoth deck, we see something very, very different. 8 is called adjustment or justice, and it's pictured as scales, just like the balanced scale glyph of the zodiac sign of Libra. On July 1st, when Three-Eye Atlas and Eterna arrived, it may not be an accident that the moon was slipping into Libra. 8 in the Tarot Handbook, Angelus Arians describes adjustment and justice with these 3 words: integrating, balancing, synthesizing mind. Integrating, balancing, synthesizing mind. Is this not a profound window into reverence and devotion? We are being cracked open and asked to integrate, balance, and synthesize ancient, eternal beauty and truth. You want to get a feel for this? Pick up a pen and make the mark of an 8. Just make it. Up, down, around. Up, down, around. What do you see? What do you feel? As above, so below. Do you feel balance, integration, synthesis? Now, turn the 8 on her side and look. There is our mystical Mobius. This Mobius that has been speaking to us in every single one of our art intensives, bringing us new wisdom and new information and new beauty every single time. There is no end or beginning to a Mobius strip, and there is no end or beginning to the wisdom and the beauty of the witch sequence. 8 feels perfect for this moment, don't you think? We are integrating and synthesizing six of our 7 sacramental witch art gifts with the sacred desire. Why are we here? To restore balance and bring justice, to heal the wasteland. It's not an accident that Three-Eye Atlas and Eterna came to kiss us on a date that is 17/8. Three-Eye Atlas is the member of an ancient family of asteroids and meteorites who literally shaped our solar system. Science tells us the elements of water were brought to Earth when Gaia was only rock. And even the sun was not yet formed. It's a period the astronomers call late heavy bombardment, and it started around 4 billion years ago. Slowly, our oceans formed as they were cracked open, seeded by water and nutrients from asteroids and meteorites and comets. Considering that Three-Eye Atlas is 7 billion years old, older than Earth, older than the sun, we must ask, Three-Eye Atlas, what do you remember? Three-Eye Atlas, what do you remember? And if a Terna is a relative, an oracular comet of even more ancient, possibly eternal age, we must ask Eterna, what do you remember? Eterna, what are you asking us to remember? These are the questions of a lifetime. So let us begin at the beginning. These are some of our guides as we step back to remember Mother Ocean, the great cosmic mother, rediscovering the religion of the earth, generally considered to be the textbook for all goddess teachings. The Moon by Whale Light by Diane Ackerman, I think the greatest nature writer we have. She is going to report adventures with whales in Antarctica. We highly recommend every one of these books. The Universe in Verse by Maria Popova marries science and poetry, and she's going to bring us an exquisite marriage of science and poetry today. Mind in the Waters. This is a celebration of the consciousness of whales and dolphins. Your world, your life, your understanding of life in the ocean will be utterly and completely changed if you're willing to dive into the dense science in Mind in the Waters. And Other Lands. Other Lands is a deep dive into the memory of Gaia's extinct worlds. Worlds we got a little touch of in our fourth immersion. But if you want the whole wild, magnificent, magical, impossible story, Other Lands might be just the book for you. We begin with the very first paragraph in The Great Cosmic Mother.
In the beginning was a very female sea. For 2.5 billion years on Earth, all life forms floated in the womb-like environment of the planetary ocean, nourished and protected by its fluid chemicals, rocked by the lunar tidal rhythms. Charles Darwin believed the menstrual cycle originated here, organically echoing the moon pulse of the sea. And because this longest period of life's time on Earth was dominated by marine forms reproducing parthenogenetically, he concluded that the female principle was primordial. In the beginning, life did not gestate within the body of any creature, but within the ocean womb containing all organic life. There were no specialized sex organs. Rather, a generalized female existence reproduced itself within the female body of the sea.
Every creation myth begins with this awareness of the female body of the sea. The Maidu, for example, have this ancient creation myth. In the beginning, there was no sun, no moon, no stars. All was dark, and everywhere there was only water. The Hindu myth begins this way. This world was water, a single flood. Only Prajapati could be seen sitting on a lotus leaf. And the Hebrew myth begins, and the Spirit of God brooded upon the waters. The Siberian myth, the oldest of all of them. These are our Paleolithic ancestors, and I'm sure you have heard the first shamans were Siberian. Their myth, in the beginning, when there was nothing but water, God and the first man moved about in the shape of two black geese over the waters of the primordial sea. Well, this is the current size and shape of our primordial sea. Oceans cover 71% of Mother Gaia. And she has a body. Mother Ocean has a body. A beautiful, gurgling, bubbling, flowing body. She has oceans, lakes, rivers, waterfalls, she has creeks, and ponds, and puddles. She has water flowing beneath your feet that you may never see. She has a body. She has a body, an ever shape-shifting body. Water is always in a state of becoming, and your brain is 75% water. Soon, that water might be a snowflake, a rainstorm, a drop of dew, the wet gleam on a falcon's eye. How much of us is borrowed? How much of us is snow? Storm, falcon. She has a body, a beautiful, gurgling, pulsing, steaming, freezing body. She has a body. She has a body, undulating forests of body. Listen, listen, as Uvavnik, the revered Inuit shaman, speaks. She says, "The great sea has sent me adrift. It moves me. As a weed in a great river, earth and the great weather move me, have carried me away, and move my inner parts with joy." She has a body, countless joy-filled bodies. Just look.
Impossible Blues by Maria Popova. There, at the bottom of being, where the water that makes this planet a world is the color of space-time, the octopus, with her body-shaped mind and her 8-arm embrace of alien realities, with her color-blind vision sightful of polarized light, and her perpetually awe-struck lidless eye, can see shades of blue we cannot conceive. Call it God if you must. Lean on the homely to fathom the holiness of the fathomless whole. And meanwhile, up here, we swim amid particles we cannot perceive, folded into dimensions we cannot imagine, to tell stories about what is real and what is possible and what it means to be. A blink of time ago, we thought this octopus impossible, this blue world lifeless, below 300 fathoms, until an epoch after Bach scribbled in the margin of a composition, everything that is possible is real. We plunged our prosthetic eye deep into the blue and found a universe of life. There, the octopus, godless and possible, lives.
She has a body. Mysterious, magnificent mammal bodies. All of evolution is a wonder, but whales and dolphins, they have perhaps the strangest and most magical story of all. They began 50 million years ago as four-legged, land-dwelling mammals, adapting over time a semi-aquatic life, and then, for reasons known only to them, headed permanently into the water where they evolved into streamlined, fully mammalian and yet fully marine whales. Whales have the largest brains on Earth, brains every bit as complex as our own. They have culture and they have language. They sing songs that obey the kinds of rules one finds in classical music. What does a creature with the largest brain on Earth use it for? Humpbacks have been singing longer than human beings have existed. Let's hear that again. Humpbacks have been singing longer than human beings have existed. Why does it sing? What do the songs mean? The blue whale is the largest animal ever to exist on Earth. It can grow to as much as 100 feet long. Its tongue weighs as much as an elephant. Its heart weighs several tons. To execute the simple maneuver of putting its head down, that is, going from horizontal to vertical in the water, it first has to be in 100 feet of water. And when it does that, or stands up on its tail, the whale experiences a difference in pressure from the tip of its nose to the tip of its tail of 3 atmospheres. The blue whale makes loud, very low frequency sounds that can travel enormous distances. The ocean transmits sound in strange and unlikely ways. There is a layer of water known as the deep sound channel in which sound waves can be trapped and spread great distances because they bend back into the channel over and over and over without losing much energy. In the tens of millions of years before the advent of ships, whale sounds might have traveled out to distances of several thousand miles. So that two whales could have sat on opposite sides of the same ocean and been in contact with one another. Two whales sitting on opposite sides of the same ocean have been in contact with one another. Song matters. After all, song is why we are here, is it not? Canticum, somnium, draconis. We have come all this time, 3 years, all this distance, 7, soon 7 circuits of the ancient feminine divine womb labyrinth to hear the song of the dreaming dragon. So perhaps Blue Whale can help us awaken the memory of original song. Let us listen in the silence to the song of our sister, our brother, our fellow mammal, the blue whale. Listen. Holding that song in your belly, in your heart, in your womb. Let us stay in the silence. Take a very short but necessary mammalian body break. And when we return, we will make a labyrinth, listening, listening, listening to the songs that want to be heard. So, shall we make a labyrinth? The labyrinth has a pretty ancient memory. She remembers.
Okay, grab your seed pattern or make one quickly and put your writing implement at the top of the blue cross and make the center of your labyrinth where we're going to do some listening. Join it with the top of the green L. Top of the purple goes over to the green dot. Purple dot joins with the bottom of the green. Bottom of the purple angle joins with the right side of the blue horizontal line. The left side of the blue horizontal line joins with chartreuse, and the top of the orange angle joins with the chartreuse dot. The orange dot joins with the bottom of the chartreuse angle, And the bottom of the orange angle joins at the bottom of the blue vertical line. So let's put our hand on our labyrinth and follow me, closing your eyes. Pretend that you're that mammal that has been walking the earth. Your feet touch the ground every day, and you've just decided, I'm going back to the water. I'm going back. I'm going back to the womb. So into the water you go. We're going to do a tour of the oceans. So since we've been out of the water, let's start with a warm ocean. We've stepped into the Indian Ocean. And just relax your muscles, because you don't have to hold yourself up anymore. There aren't any neck muscles that are pulling against gravity. Just relax. Is the water that you're in, is it very still? Are there gentle waves that you can just give yourself over to? What does it feel like completely surrounded by water? Moving around to our second circuit. Now we're in the North Pacific. I have a feeling that water would feel different than the Indian Ocean. What temperature are you aware of? How deep have you gone into the water? Can you see the sun, or are you so deep that it's completely dark, or somewhere in between? You're traveling with the ocean streams. We're into our third circuit. We're in the South Pacific now. What sounds do you hear with your mammalian water body? Where from your body do you sense the sounds of the other creatures? Do you have a sense of how vast the Pacific Ocean is? Continuing south, you shift into the Antarctic Ocean. What are the temperatures that you feel? What does it feel like to be carried by the water? You give yourself to the water. She holds you. You sleep in the water. You trust everything you need for life is in that water. The currents move you. You're heading north. We're in our fifth circuit of the labyrinth. You're in the South Atlantic. Might you do some play that we see the mammals of the ocean playing with each other? If you lay on your back, Can you see the light of the stars rippling on the surface? As a mammal in the water, do you need to take a breath of air? Carried by the gentle water, you're in the North Atlantic now, in our 6th circuit. You've aged in these waters. You have a life that's longer than human life. You've seen so many stories. You carry so much wisdom in your watery body. What do you know as a sea creature? What do you remember? Carried by the currents, we reach the Arctic Ocean, far, far north, protected by Draconis in the sky, always looking down. The ocean of the cosmos merges with the creatures of the ocean. Everything is quiet and it's nighttime. As a sea creature, you open your creature eyes, and up above is Three-Eye Atlas blazing across our sky, bringing her medicine, her wisdom, star codes, sprinkling down on you into the water, through your gills, into your body. We're at the center of our labyrinth. Ask Three-Eye Atlas, what are you asking me to remember? What are you asking us to remember? What are you bringing to us from 7 billion years ago, from beyond our solar system? Listening is easy as a sea creature. Your magical body listens in all the ways. Listening to Three-Eye Atlas, what's asking to be remembered. And then when you're ready, turn to your journal and write what you hear. You've been deep soul writing for almost 10 minutes. So ask now, do you have a kiss for me? What do you want me to remember right now?
I've never been a whale before, and my name is Whalebone, so thank you, Kathy. That was quite the experience. And because I have read Diane Ackerman's book like 5 times, following the whales, they eat and eat and eat and eat in the Arctic, and then they come south and they give birth in the Antarctic. So I was like, oh, I know what's happening. Oh, this is so exciting. And then as she was returning, I could feel her saying that I'm ready now to die. And we didn't, there's so much that couldn't be added to our adventure. But when a whale dies, this enormous body brings it holds carbon. And so it is helping humanity by bringing carbon down into Mother Gaia, because who is at the bottom of the ocean? Mother Gaia. So we have just a little bit of time that we so rarely have to share. So if anybody wants to, I do want to say this for those that are on Facebook, go to our group and there is a recording of the stars in the Draconis constellation. It's brand new. These are the mysteries that astronomy and science are uncovering. There's a recording. And because Kathy experienced Draconis in Alaska, that recording, I think it's still on our resource page of Marcia explaining that the Draconis constellation is a thing, is a real thing. So I recognized the shape right away. And somebody somehow recorded the sound of these important stars in the Draconis constellation. It's stunning, and they're very low, so your body, you're like hearing them in your body. So in order to really live this experience, I highly recommend. And maybe Kathy could grab it and put it on our resource page for those that aren't on Facebook. Mother Ocean and Mother Star really have it's all mysteries, isn't it? That was the primary thing that came through in my writing is there's such exquisite mystery. Marina, did you want to add? We're going to sing at the end, but would you like to say something about your experiences?
Yes. I spend a lot of time in water. I'm not a diver, but last couple of winters I realized that I really enjoy snorkeling in Egypt because of the coral reefs. And when the guided vision came, I was right there in the Red Sea, and I just bought a new snorkel. It's a different mask because you don't have to like put the pipe into your mouth or anything. It's like a big face mask, like an astronaut's mask or whatever. But the nice thing about it is that you can actually breathe through your nose in it, and it's a fancy new thing, and lots of people using it now. And I always thought it looks really funny, so why would some buy such a big giant mask? But when I tried one on and I went underwater, it was like watching TV underwater because you could literally breathe freely. And it has this huge screen around. You can see all around. And you're just laying on top of the water, talking to the fish and all the corals. And it's incredible. So I felt so connected as soon as like with the sounds, with all the things. And the interesting thing, the sounds that you can hear underwater now is always the motorboats, the engines of the boats. Like that's what just because they travel so far, even if the boats are far away, that's all you hear underwater. Otherwise, if there's no boats, it's all like just gorgeous silence. Anyway, that's just a small share.
Well, and you took us with you. And if you have any pictures that you could post on Facebook of your adventure or your mask or any and all of it, we would love. We would love. Anyone else want to talk about their experiences in Mother Ocean? Or 7? Don't you think that's funny that there's 7 oceans?
I wanted to share, but I didn't feel the hand. So I took the heart. So that's what came for me. And I was with my whale bone I have here at home, part of a whale spine. And so she was in my labyrinth, and this came. I don't know slow, I don't know quick. I know that I am. You call it slow. For me, it doesn't matter. I'm moving through and with timelessness, not knowing that my body will die someday. It doesn't matter because in me eternity lives. There is no understanding, just be. Don't even try. Water holds me, water is my home. I have always been free. My bones sing of eternity, of freedom and rhythm. I know where I am going. And the last kiss was explore the stars beneath you and follow the waters to bring them to the surface. So that's for me. Thank you.
That sounds like a Marina Popova poem. You might like to type that up. Altari and then Branwen.
Well, it was wonderful to go through all the oceans, and then I connected with the Three-Eye Atlas, asking it, asking her, and since the 90s, I've been following Kuan Yin in her channeling, talking about focusing in on the new earth. And what the Three-Eye Atlas told me is that this is that she's bringing in, I can't even say the word. She's bringing in the energies that are going to allow everything to evolve. And the waters, of course, are so conductive of energies. The big message is to stay as close to nature as I can, and make sure that your food, your water. I mean, I'm very blessed. I drink the water that comes out of the earth under me. But to know that that's going to be our channel to evolve because of the stardust, if you want to call it that, coming down. And again, it's really beyond a word. Yeah. And to stay out of the conflicts and stay in love. Yeah.
This is very profound, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
And we are just so blessed that Eterna allowed Kath to paint her at come on the same day Three Atlas arrived into human consciousness. There are absolutely no words for, but I feel this is so holy, this is so sacred that we, this tiny little group, are being cracked open. Branwen?
Hi, yes, I just wanted to share my final kiss because it felt like it was a message sent out to all of us, and I don't know if anyone else got the echo of it, but it just resonated through my chest. And it was like a command and a promise. And it was just the line, "The storm stops here."
The storm stops here.
Yes.
Okay. We could deep soul write about that for a decade.
Yeah, it's actually quite emotional.
Yeah. The storm stops here. Whew. My experience, or I shouldn't say my experience, I have 5 pages here, but it started with what is time to an ocean, that sentence, but then it just kept going with, I'm going to get to the part about song. So 3i Atlas is saying everything in the universe is singing. Don't you say that in your anointing? Sing the song of the whole and holy witch I came here to be. Draconis has a song, and you heard some, and that's the recording that Kathy just put. Draconis has been singing for eons, eons, but you are just beginning to hear. Hearing the voice is practice at hearing the song of the universe. The symphony of the spheres, you say, but it's much, much deeper than that. It cannot be played on instruments. It can only be played by bodies. She has a body, and her body sings. Draconis sings, and your dragon in the labyrinth sings. He has been singing since time. What is time? To a comet, to a star, to an ocean, to a whale? What is mystery? What is song? These are your questions. These are your mysteries. These are why you are here. And the final kiss was listen, listen to everything, everyone, everyone is singing. Because the world is a who, the stars are a who. Listen, did you see? I put it in Facebook. I think I'm going to say Kalahari. Am I doing that correctly? There was an explorer guy, Lauren Vander Post. I think I'm saying his name correctly. And there's a picture of an elder in the Kalahari tribe looking at him like, "What's wrong with you, fella?" Because he had just confessed that he couldn't sing. He couldn't hear the stars singing. And she looks at him with such pity. You can't hear the stars singing? Bingo. So 3i Atlas is singing, Eterna is singing, Draconis is singing, and they are helping us sing our song, the song of the whole and holy witch. This entire thing is about song, right? When Kathy and I can't say came up with Canticum Somnium Draconis, there was an element of play because Our Lady Queen of Magicians yelled at me, Hogwarts. I think you've all heard that story. Oh, Hogwarts, right. Okay. And she said it was a complete mystical system. And so this thing you are creating is a complete mystical system. So we needed a motto, and in a very playful way, we just looked at the motto for Hogwarts, which was don't tickle a sleeping dragon. And then, oh, dragon, Draconis. And of course, she had seen the Draconis constellation, and suddenly things started to go. But here we are 3 years later. Do you know what it means? The song of the dreaming dragon. That's what we're going to begin to hear in 7. So I think 3i Atlas and Draconis are helping us, Aeterna are helping us begin, not with these ears. In my deep soul writing, she called it original song. So this is the song of creation. This is the song of creation. And somehow, in a very playful way, I think Aeterna was in charge all along. We tapped into this song of the dreaming dragon. What is song? to a constellation? What is song to 3i Atlas? What is song to Aeterna? No, I have no answers, but gosh, what questions. Would anyone else like to say anything? It's a very deep. We will continue it in Witch Cafes, but.
And what are the chances that the one constellation that came across our desk was Draconis, where they were?
And all because you went to Alaska kicking and screaming, didn't want to, right? So didn't want to go. And then you're sitting outside and a white dragon shows up. And then Marcia explains, oh yeah, you can only see the Draconis constellation at the North Pole. Yeah, so we have been so guided in a way we cannot, don't even try. It's just like the ocean, just float. We're floating. Freddie, did you have something you wanted to say? We do want to hear, and if Lucy wants to speak now, go right ahead.
Lucy told me, she dictated my whole writing, and she told me to do it at the end.
All right.
What I wrote. So, like
Okay.
I usually do, that it was profound. And you're going to laugh because you were just talking about creation, and that's a word in this writing. And yeah.
Song is creation. Well, in the various creation myths, it brings up sound. God spoke. But God spoke over the waters. So now we have the union of Mother Ocean and Draconis, Aeterna, 3i Atlas. This is, by the way, if you look at that map that Kathy created with Draconis at the top, and there's the labyrinth, that enormous map. Draconis is in the sky, and what we see as the labyrinth is Mother Dragon pregnant with us. And they're singing to one another. They're in love with one another. There's a communion, but it's in song going on between them. All of this somehow is going to sing us alive in 7. So before I forget, here are some of the wonderful things happening. There will be a watch party for this. And then, oh, how exciting. On Thursday, the Library of Water is going to welcome us into our almost final experiential journey. There's so much sharing that people want. And, the witch cafes, we move them around and they're on weekdays. We decided, let's have one on a Sunday at 2:00, the time that works for just about everybody. So next Sunday, we'll have a cafe to share all this, and it'll be after we've had our library adventure. So we're going to have a lot of wonderful things. Write that date down. And then, of course, on a Tuesday, there's the experiential journey for a watch party for that experiential journey. Now, look at number 5. This was given to me, and I kind of said to Kathy, I don't know, it's not for me to tell anybody. Check in with Aeterna, but I think we're going to get seeds in these journeys. And well, now what are we going to do with the seeds? We have to plant them. So there is a 6th experiential journey on Thursday, the 16th at 2:00 in the afternoon, and we will plant our seeds. How or where or why, that's up to Aeterna. But that's going to be a really sacred date. And then we have our closing celebration. Now, do you notice under the closing celebration, it says, bring your artifact? We do this in all of but not everybody has been in all of them. So an artifact is a physical object that somehow captures, holds what the entire 77-day intensive has been about for you, what it has awakened in you, and then you can put them on your altar. So I'll show you mine. for ART1 on full body intuition, I was invited by this beautiful German woman in Colorado to get my own fossilized whalebone ears. Talk about hearing, right? And then, so she's on my altar. They're on my altar. I have both of them. Then my artifact for ART2, which was on crisscrossing the threshold between worlds, is this swan feather. And the reason, for me, these are all very personal. The reason this represents the threshold is I had no idea what the artifact could be. And I went into my son's room, which no one is ever in. It's kind of like an attic. And there on a wooden labyrinth was this swan feather. So, okay, how did so I have a physical artifact of the threshold between worlds. I think that's pretty spectacular. So she's on my altar. And then 3 for prayer is this prayer stole that a weaver artist made for me in Massachusetts. And I recorded the story of what happened when I wear this. And when I wore it for the first time, I could no longer think or talk. When I wore it for the second time, I couldn't see. Yeah, you want an artifact that holds the power of original prayer. And I asked the woman who made it, and she said, "Oh, well, I was invoking the living presence of all witches in all time as I was making it for you." Okay, that's very powerful. ART4, Mary Magdalene, I think she's over there. I had wanted and still am open to finding a chalice, kind of a small, because that was the artifact that held my sacred oil. I went online, I looked around, there's no chalice that has said that she's my artifact. So I have a statue of Mary Magdalene, but she's over there. And then 5, divination, is the libraries, right? This is where we got our sigils. So this, I realize, this is just a piece of paper to you, but this is the family crest for my mystical family, whose name is Woman Speak Truth. And someday maybe that would actually be like a banner. This is my family, my real family. And you can meet your family in your mystic family in ART3. So what's the artifact for 6, reverence and devotion? I have no idea. Just as you have no idea. But in the next 2 weeks, listen, notice something. And if yours arrives by our closing celebration, we share them. We share them. And it's just the most fun you can have. The closing celebration is fun. So, Lucy, it's time. Unmute yourself.
I think Ramani wants to say something.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to share something that I remembered so clearly when Janet talked about Draconis and then the dragon in the earth, the pregnant dragon in the earth. And what I remembered, and I can't tell you where I remembered it from, but it felt so true to me at the time that I just want to share it. You know how when they talk about when the egg and the sperm come together for pregnancy, how it's the strongest male sperm that, you know, it's not. It's that the egg has this particular song that goes out and calls the sperm to it. And if a sperm comes to her that she's not ready for, she won't let it in. And so it is that song that creates all of us in our mother's womb as well.
So maybe you're teaching us what Kantakum Somni on the song of the dreaming dragon. What's the song? Why is it in a dream? Who is dreaming? Who is the dragon? It's nothing but questions. There's nothing but questions. Kathy and I have no answers. So, what an exploration. But it is clearly song. It is clearly song. Song of love, song of creation, song of life, song of death. Thank you, Romani. Thank you. And Freddie, you're ready to.
Well, when I started writing this, I didn't realize it was Lucy talking to me because I'd started out sort of like to Three Eye Atlas. And what I got was from Lucy, she says, so I'm assuming it was, and it made sense as I got further along. In ancient times, the oceans were different as to water temperature. The Arctic was cold, but Antarctic was not cold. Some of the first land mass appeared here without ice. In temperate waters, it was a place where beings from all over Earth, oh, and even from other planets and spaces, came for R and R and R, rest, recreation, and retreat. There we experience what you all have referred to throughout your holy/biblical history as atonement, and what in truth the truth was at one-ment. This was considered a most sacred aspect of your livingness, a rejuvenation, if you will, when beings began to experience a loss of love from their hearts. It was an extremely healing time, and the period of time spent there varied from being to being, depended upon how much out of alignment each had become. At that time, the term grounded meant a return to wholeness. And then I asked, what do you want me to remember? And the reply was, you can return to that place in meditation by listening to sounds of the sea. The reason you bought the ocean drum, which I recently purchased, and sounds of the dolphins and whales. And then Kathy gave us the link. You will find this extremely healing. We are surrounding you with much love. Lucy.
Well, that makes us all so happy. You can return by listening to the sounds of the sea, the dolphins, and the whales. I think we're going to all go on a hunt for sounds of the sea, the dolphins, and the whale. Thank you, Lucy.
Yeah, I mean, so much of this stuff, I'm like, I couldn't possibly have made this up.
Well, we're very spoiled to have Lucy, who's even older than Three Eye Atlas, maybe, filling us in on beauty. What this has really been about is beauty.
Did you see what Emma wrote? The numeric vibration of song is 19.1.
Oh, 1910-1. Emma, do you want to say something about that?
We're going into a 1 year. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are, Freddie. Well, I mean, 19 is the last karmic vibration of Pythagoras. So those 4 karmic energies or songs are very important because they kind of untie everything, right? Whatever term you want to put on karma, right? I mean, it's an energy, right, that I believe we have a choice to open up to even more of what is. I mean, it's hard to put words to it, right? But it's a very spiritual number. And I mean, and Freddie's right, all of us next year, collectively, the energy of 2026 will be a 10-1. Yeah. So, which is birthing, which comes back to whispers. Yeah, I had a lot about the womb. I got taken into the womb, actually. My womb, the whale's womb, the womb of, yeah, that was my journey. So when Whisper was sharing that, oh gosh, yeah, it was very powerful. Yeah. So
Well,
thank
the
you.
biggest womb is the Mother Ocean. Mother Ocean is sort of take our little watery womb and expand her to the size of the globe. Ooh. This has turned,
And
we're all struggling to talk. There are no words for this. Did you start to say something, Freddie?
she's reminding me that to remember we all came from the celestial seas,
The celestial seas.
which had to be before even planet Earth was.
Well, because that's the scientific story of Mother Earth was a rock. She was a rock. She was a rock for a really long time. And then, I mean, we don't like the word bombardment, but comets and asteroids and rocks delivered, brought her the nutrients and the chemicals and the elements. So I didn't know this. Did anybody learn this in fifth grade? That the stars brought water to the earth. I was news to me. That's why I showed you all those pictures and stories about it.
Well, Janet, that was fifth grade Catholic school.
But I don't think any. I mean, it seems to be news to everybody that there was no. It's hard for us to comprehend Mother Earth with no water because she's 71% water. But that water was brought by really pretty small comets and asteroids and boop, 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 boop. Wow. Yeah, creation is so much more astonishing than anything we realize. And yet I found it really mind-boggling that in the book, Blind in the Waters, they go through a whole bunch of creation myths. I just gave you 4 of them, and they all say the same thing. They all say the same thing. Only water. So how did humans know that, right? If the ocean is 4.5 billion years old, something like that. How did humans, we're only, what, 300,000 years at the most, 150,000 articulate humans, 50,000. How did we intuit that all of creation is in water? The only explanation is we say water holds memory, right? This is why the whale is always portrayed as the memory, that whales hold memory in the cards, the medicine cards. Whale is memory. So that means our bodies right now in 2025 do hold some mystical memory. And what are we here trying to do? The memory. What's Eterna's name? The memory of life. All life. Ooh.
Which is also, I think, why Aeterna, different than our last archetypes, is not filled with words. It's all about getting us, we're that the elder looking up at the scientist saying, I feel sorry for you. She wants us to be in that place as opposed to Googling and looking in the encyclopedia, because then it's real, right? We can feel it in our bodies. Marina got chills. I got chills.
And maybe you have heard Kathy and I expressing our frustration about that with Eterna. She doesn't answer our questions. I ask every time, are we going to have a tarot? And sometimes there's just no answer. Today there was an answer. No. Okay. Totten, are you going to share something? And then Marina is going to send us off with a water song. Right, Totten?
I was just gonna say in response to your question of how in those creation myths when they were, I don't know, thought of, given to the people way back when, I think that, you know, things were not taught out of them at that time. Like things are taught out of us now. Like they were more connected to their inner senses that we studied in ART1, and to the rhythms of the natural world and the wisdom in listening and observing the natural world, right?
In that natural world, they were picking up a truth that is 5 billion years old.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So ocean, coming from Draconis, from the stars, what do you know? What do you remember? Our brains can't even begin. Can't even begin.
Well, remember when Marcia said the ocean of the cosmos, and a bunch of us were just stunned. Like, and that was a long time ago. I don't remember when that was, but we knew that that meant something big.
This is too big for comprehension. So, thus ends day 63. We are 77 days long, although we're really lifelong. Go in love as you awaken, remember, and trust the memory of reverence and devotion. But of course, you're not awakening. You're being awakened. You're not remembering. You're being remembered. You're not trusting. You're being trusted. And I think I'm supposed to say something here. Hold on a second. No, we're going to have the blessing of Isis with Cassie. You want to unmute yourself, Cassie?
The blessing of Isis go with you. Queen of stars, mother of grain, she whose tears are the rain, she whose embrace is the sky. Her wings of protection enfold you. Her breast be your place of rest. Her river with you wherever you wander. Her river to guide you home.
This is such a profound prayer. And that's how we know it's real, because every single time, don't you see something, hear something? I just made the connection in the first line, Queen of Stars, to the bottom line, her river to guide you home. It's just a beautiful poetic way of confirming that the stars brought water to earth. Take a moment to take in. Do you understand what you're seeing? This is a portion of Eterna, focusing in on her bringing water to earth. Pick up your glass. Pick up your glass of water. And we end with the reminder, she has a body and she gives it up for you, for me, for the clouds, the ice, the snow, the puddles on the ground, the whales, the octopus, the kelp, the seas. She has a body. So take and drink. Marina will bring this exquisite immersion into Mother Ocean to a sacred completion with a song. The ocean is the beginning of the earth. Marina?
The ocean is the beginning of the earth. The ocean is the beginning of the earth. All life comes from the sea. All life comes from the sea.
We have that again.
Sure. The ocean is the beginning of the earth. The ocean is the beginning of the earth. All life comes from the sea. All life comes from the sea.